Hello, ladies, and well, actually, YouTube emailed me and told me that only women watch my channel. They said only women, supermodels, 10 out of 10 millionaires watch my channel. I don't know what's up with that. Anyways, so what's up? Lately, obviously, I haven't played any Dofus in a while, but for some reason, I've just been thinking a lot. Not that much, but I've been thinking about stories. Like they'll just come to me, things that have to do with Dofus, and I thought it'd be kind of interesting to share. I wrote a few of them down, and I have a pretty decent collection. Today I'll tell you three, and then maybe I'll do like a video every once in a while where I say one. Tell me if this is interesting at all, like you guys can let me know in the comments. But I have three stories. Two of them are from really, really long time ago, like 2009. And one of them is a little bit more recent. I think it was like 2 years ago. So I'll just tell you guys, and then let me know like which one's your favorite and such in the comments. And I'll just get into it. So the first one, I'll start with one that was super, super long ago. So I have to give you guys the scene, okay? They're not really long stories, not super elaborate or anything, but okay, so I'm like on my computer. Okay, wait, no. So we're in my house, right? We have the computer that we all use in the house, right? So it's like our shared computer. It's kind of in a corner next to our little like library section. It's kind of in a corner. And if you're sitting using the computer, so say the computer is here, right? You guys can't see my hands, but okay, say the computer is here and I'm facing, then like basically directly behind me is where we have lunch, like it's our lunch table, right? And we used to have lunch as a family all together. That sounds sad, but like no, we used to have lunch as a family, and now we don't. No, but okay, so we used to all have lunch, and I was a kid, so I'd come like play Dofus after school or whatever, and so I'm here playing Dofus, and I told you guys this before, but like sometimes, actually, did I mention this? I might have mentioned this, where I like try to get my family members to play. This used to be a long time ago, but like kind of to ease the guilt of like playing so much or just to have companionship in the game, I try to get my family members to play. Now back then, I think my brothers weren't born, so who was born was my older sister. I have an older sister, for those of you who don't know. So my older sister used to play. And the thing is, back then I used to only make male characters because I thought it was like super gay to make a female character. So all my characters were male, like my in-game characters. But my sister, obviously she's a girl, so she's gonna make a girl character. Nowadays, I suppose you guys know, like my rogue and pretty much all my characters, I make them female because they're way hotter. But back then I used to only make male characters, so I never had this one interaction that I'll tell you about. But my sister, she made a female character, and one day, so I'm back from school playing, and I kind of wanted to hop on her account for whatever reason, and she was cool, she'd let me. So I'm on her account doing whatever the fuck, and I remember I was running around Astrub. This is old Astrub, of course. I'm running around Astrub, and my mom is calling me like to lunch, and I'm like, I'm just in the middle of something, and I'm like, fuck, like just 5 more minutes. She's like, come on, like we're having lunch, and we, as I said, we used to have lunch as a family, so she doesn't want me to miss it. So she's like, okay, like Hassan, fucking, you know, just come to lunch. What are you doing? So I'm like, no, like just one sec. And I'm playing on this computer, okay? So I'm playing here. And so they're all behind me. My dad, my sister, and my mom. They're just having lunch, like slowly kind of just waiting and calling me and shit. So I'm here on the computer. And I'm 9 years old, or like 8 years old. I'm super young. And I'm playing on the computer, running by Astra Bank. And this Xeller comes up to me, right? This Xeller comes up to me in game, and he goes, I will give you 50,000 commas if you will marry me. Now, I don't even know that, at this point, I didn't even know marriage was like an in-game system. So I'm like, fuck, this guy actually wants to marry me. Also, context, my parents are like super hyper aware. This actually is going to play into a later story. They're hyper aware of like online stuff, so they're scared of like getting catfished or just... Not for them, but like for me, especially as a kid, they're like, you gotta be careful what you do online. You can't give your information to strangers, all that stuff. I'm sure it's good parenting, but like they're really aware of that, and I know that they are. So this guy comes up, he's like, hey, 50,000 commas and for you to marry me. Because I'm on my sister's character, who was a female SRAM, I think, at the time. And dude, he says 50,000 commas, and it's a lot of commas, but it's not about that. It's the fact that he said like, oh, you'll marry me. And I know like if my parents see that sort of shit, I don't even know that it was a system in game, but even had I known, there's no fucking way I'm explaining this to my parents. Like they'd think I'm being targeted by a pedophile, some shit, like, okay. So I fucking like instantly freeze. And my mom's like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing, I'm coming. Like, I'm coming. And I just fucking like, I reach down, and I pull the plug on the whole computer. Like, usually also you just want to log out naturally and stuff. So I pull the plug on the whole computer, and I'm like, no, nothing's wrong, just the game crashed or something. And I get up and go to lunch. And she doesn't ask me about it. But I always just remember, like, that feeling of fear, like, instantly washed over me. I was like, my parents are going to ban me from this game forever. I'm never going to be able to touch Dofus. Like, I'm done. but thankfully, like I managed pretty quick. Although the thing about pulling your plug out, I have another story about that. I'll share that another day. I had this terrible experience. Anyways, so on to story number 2. So story number 2, actually, so I'll play off the whole thing with the parents being afraid of online stuff. This is a short story. So I was young and I had never gotten a subscription basically until I got my own subscription with Kamas in like 2015 or so, 2016. But I had been playing for a very long time. So what did I do? Like, I used to tell my parents, like, hey, can you please like use your card to buy me something online? And my dad used to always tell me, he used to say, oh, my card doesn't work for online things or something, which may or may not have been true, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't true. All my friends used to do the thing where you could call, like there was this phone number you'd call and they'd give you a code and they charge like the telephone company and the telephone company would charge you, right? So all my friends used to be subscribed who I used to play with, but I had never gotten a subscription. So I would tell my dad like, hey, yo, please, like I really want to get this subscription or just like buy me these things or whatever it was. Like you could buy pets and stuff, right? And then, so my dad was always telling me, no, and I never got it. But then once I was like really, really pressing it and I was like, I need a reason at least why you won't. And so, as I said, my parents are super hyper aware of like computer-related scams and such. So my dad tells me, he's like, oh, he's not comfortable putting his card online because I have to put his card information, right? Because he's like, what did he say? He said there's like online pirates and that sort of thing, or like pirating schemes or something like that. But he used the word pirates, and I'm an 8-year-old kid who he did not explain that he means in like in some other sense pirate. So I took it very much verbatim and I was like, oh fuck, like pirates are gonna show up to our house if I put his card online. I did not understand like anything. I did not understand that me putting up his card is like, okay, piracy, something can take his card information. I thought, this is how I understood his message, is like, if I put my fucking card online, pirates will show up to the house. And I'm like, I'm so scared. I'm like, fuck, okay. And then I go over to my friend's house and he's one of my friends who plays Dofus. And he has a subscription. I'm like, how the fuck like did you get the subscription? He tells me about the calling thing. And I tell him like what my dad told me. I'm like, oh, yo, you got to be careful with online stuff because like pirates will show up. And he's also young, but he's like 2 years older than me. I think he was 2 years older than me. So not as stupid as me. Also, maybe I was just retarded. But he's like, what do you mean like pirates, like online pirate stuff? I'm like, no, like fucking pirates are going to show up to your house and they're going to kill you because you put your card online. And he's just like, dude, you're actually retarded. And he just made fun of me for that. I think for many years to come. I remember he would make fun of me for that. He was my neighbor. And I kind of never lived that down. And I still remember that. It came to my mind the other day. And so those were my 2 stories from a very, very long time ago. And now I'll tell you my final story, which was a lot more recent. So 2 years ago, I think, first year in university, I was sitting in physics class, okay? This is actually before like my YouTube channel actually gained traction. I don't know if I was even making videos back then, but well, I had my YouTube channel for a while, but like actually making videos, I only did that when COVID started, which I think was not 2 years ago. I don't know. Anyhow, so 2 years ago, I'm in first year university taking physics, which is what I'm which I was taking. Anyways, doesn't matter. So I was in physics class. I happened to be in physics class. This is another short story, but so I'm sitting in physics class and I don't know what I was doing in game at the time, but I know it was like some noob shit. I think I was just like restarting on another server with a friend or something. So I was like super into low level things, or they were on my mind at least. So I'm sitting in class and I don't remember what we were talking about in class. It was something boring. I think it was like torque, rotational motion, and like moment arms or something like that. I remember I was just bored the fuck out of my mind. I didn't sleep well, something, and I was just looking at this professor giving this long lecture and I was not focused. So what do? I take out my book. I'm just like drawing doodles and I'm like, okay, what do I have to draw to entertain myself? And I come up with this idea. I'm like, okay, you know what I'll draw? I'll draw the gobble set, right? I'll draw the gobble set on my notebook. And when I get home, I'll just like see how accurate I got it. So the idea was like I would draw it from memory. And the idea, the way I wanted to draw it was like draw it as if a character is wearing it, but the character is invisible. So like the hat and then the cape underneath it and like boots and a ring or just whatever. So I'm taking out my book. I'm not very artistically talented. Just you guys should know that. And I'm taking out my book. I'm trying to draw and I'm drawing. And I noticed the person sitting next to me is kind of like peeking over like, what the fuck are you doing? He sees me drawing. It doesn't matter. Like, it's not that big of a deal. People are bored all the time and they doodle. But I'm just drawing some, like, weird thing. I'm trying to draw the gobble headgear with, like, the tongue out, you know? And, like, all these things. And I'm just trying to draw. I'm not a good drawer. And he's just looking over. He's like, like, what the fuck are you drawing? But he doesn't say anything, but I could tell he's kind of feeling that. I don't care, so I just keep drawing. And then I just end up drawing so he looks over at my page, and I'm just drawing this like fucking gobble headgear, cape, boots, and whatever. And he looks over and he says, this is like basically verbatim. He says something like, I guess it's true what they say about Arabs and goats. And I look at my page and I basically drew a goat. And you know they say like fucking Arabs love goats too much, like too much. And anyways, this is a fucking stupid story, but I remember just looking at my page and being like, I just drew a goat. And, you know, obviously I took it home and compared to Gobble Set, and I was nowhere near. I actually might be able to find the drawing. I might, because it might be in my old physics textbook, which I think I have. I'll take a look. If I find it, I'll post it on Discord. Someone asked me about it on Discord, and I'll take a look. Anyways, those were my 3 stories. I have a lot of other stories, and even while speaking now, like a bunch of shit popped in my head. But I kind of want to share those. And I have more stories. So as I said, if you guys like this at all, let me know. And I will hopefully record some more storytelling. Whether it be Dofus or not, maybe I'll kind of mix it together. We'll see. But for the time being, hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I will see you next time. Have a good day and goodbye.